Hello everybody and welcome to Combat Mission Shock Force. I'm probably going to mess that name up a lot because it's Combat Mission SF, and I always think it's Special Force or Strike Force or something that other than Shock Force, because Shock Force just sounds silly to me. Anyways, this is a real-time turn-based strategy hybrid game with a very, very interesting turn system. I enjoy the crap out of it. It's like a hardcore military simulation game, and I love military simulation games, but I don't like them when they're too simulatory. If you've ever played Digital Combat Simulator, I think it is DCS, the flight combat game, like that is for me an example of too much simulation. If you need an actual pilot's license to play the game, or you need like a degree in engineering to play the game or something like that, the game is too much simulation, at least in my opinion. I know that there's a market for those level of simulation games, but they're not for me. For me, the ideal level of simulation is something that is simple to play, but all of the complexity comes from the mechanics and the gameplay, as opposed to, needing a 400-page manual just to understand. This game, might be that for some people because they don't know what all of the various bits of technology do just off the top of their heads. But I know a lot of military technology stuff, so I kind of get that. This works for me. Anyways, what we're going to be doing today is I'm just going to be playing through the entirety of this mission. I know I usually stick to 30-minute episodes lately, but I could split this into multiple episodes, but I don't really feel like it. So I'm going to do just a whole mission. I've never played this mission before. I've never even seen it before, but it's supposed to be a big map. The enemy forces are an entire regular army division, the 1st Infantry Division. Let's see. Enemy forces will include infantry, mechanized troops, as well as tanks supported by artillery, fortifications, and minefields. And a factory complex a few kilometers east of the town has been converted into a fortified outpost. So yes, lots of tanks, lots of armored vehicles. Our forces, our Striker Company, -1 platoon, so basically wheeled APCs, probably with a assortment of 12.7 millimeter and 40 millimeter, 12.7 millimeter machine guns and 40 millimeter grenade launchers, as well as MGS mobile gun system, I believe is what it is, which is a 105 millimeter anti-tank gun mounted on a Striker chassis, and as well as anti-tank guided missile platoons. An attached engineer company, which is good for clearing mines, which is good because we have minefields, mounted in Bradleys, and an Abrams tank platoon, as well as support by 2 batteries of 155 millimeter Paladins, as well as 120 millimeter and 82 millimeter mortars. Weather is clear with a light haze. Terrain is good. Basically, the objective is to assault the factory complex. Tactical map is here. Our forces are here, advancing from right to left towards the factory complex. Enemy forces will be moving left to right. Possibility of mines and as well along with these trench lines. Let's see. So we'll go into the level and we will see what we have. So here's the factory complex. Our objective, it looks to be to get into that point there. From what I could see on the tactical map, it looks like mines are likely to be found along essentially this line here and that line there. So our forces are exactly 3 Abrams, 3 MGS, let's see, it looks like 5 Strikers, and a Humvee. Humvee looks like... Okay, Humvee's a sniper team. And this Striker is a spotter team. Calling it fire support. We also have 2 Apaches. The brief didn't mention that. That'll be nice. And 61 millimeter mortar. Okay, so it looks like the brief was out of date or something. The brief says 120 millimeter mortars, but we don't have those. We have Apaches instead. I'd much rather have the Apaches, if I'm totally honest. So let's see. Let's check out what weapons we have. Lots of javelins in the strikers. Those are good. Looks like we've only got 12.7 millimeter machine guns on those strikers. No 40 millimeter grenade launchers. Nope, we have one with 40 millimeter grenade launchers. So let's see. What's the plan going to be? We know the enemy has lots of armor. Try and check the terrain. So, actually, it looks like if we can get our Abrams up here, we can probably get some supporting fire initially as we advance up towards the stuff here. Wait, they mentioned Bradleys. There are no Bradleys here. The entire brief is wrong! What is this? Rifle squad, MMG, or just weapons squad, really. So, MMG teams. Another rifle squad, which is just the HQ team, a rifle squad, and a rifle squad. Okay, so we don't have engineers. And now I'm worried, because I don't know if there's fucking mines out there either. They may have gotten rid of the mines with everything else. I can't tell. It's just like real military intelligence, entirely and wholly inaccurate. So, reposition... Oh, we can't reposition like that. So we're going to have the Abrams move fast. To that position. In case you're wondering, guys, this is a game for people who are fans of micromanagement. If you are not a fan of micromanagement, this is not a game for you. And I really mean that, too. Infantry and stuff like that, infantry and tanks will have pretty bad pathfinding, but will follow your orders pretty accurately. So, as long as you give good orders, your units will make good battlefield decisions. If you do crappy orders, they won't. So... So the idea what I've been doing here is I'm moving one tank and then a bunch of MGS units to these little hill things in the middle of nowhere. The reason for that being that the MGS units are much better tank destroyers than they are assault vehicles. So using them, let's see, just trying to pace them all so they don't get gummed up on each other. So the MGS and one Abrams will be in position along this little hill line here to fire towards the complex as we spot enemy vehicles. The other two Abrams are advancing along and beside the road here to try and hopefully spot some other units as well. And this was the sniper team, and that's the fire support team. These guys are also going to move up here, so we'll have our fire support team up here in these near these areas as well, hopefully giving us some good long-range spots on anything we're going to need to call in artillery or anything like that. I would send up the sniper team as well, but I have found that sniper teams are actually really bad at spotting, even though you wouldn't expect that. Or maybe you would expect it, I don't know. But sniper teams just aren't very good at that kind of thing. So, alright, so what we're going to do is... So now this is when the kind of hybrid turn system comes in. As of this moment, 1 minute of game time is going to elapse. We're going to go from 1 hour and 10 minutes to 1 hour and 9 minutes. I can't make any intervening actions or commands. Oh, I forgot to move one of the MGS units. Whoops. That's not good. So they have an early spot on maybe just some random artillery. I can't really tell. Luckily, nothing knocked out or damaged, it appears. Don't like that. I've got to get these guys moving if they're going to be calling artillery in. We're going to swing them left. Okay. Abrams units are engaging enemy units at the far end of the compound. Oh god, where's that going? It's going to land right in the middle of these strikers, isn't it? That's terrible. So yeah, so that's the 1 minute elapsed. We engaged a machine gun team in this bunker here. Yeah, so as you can see, the visual effects in the game aren't great. This is your fire effect. The smoke effect is actually a little bit nicer than that. But this is essentially an independent game. It's not done by a huge developer with $1 billion budget. It's just done by another guy. And also, this game came out in 2007. So, you know, you can forgive it for not being the prettiest game ever, but even then, the game is very, very good looking in most regards. The visual effects are pretty good. Sound effects are kind of but it's more of a simulation game than it is, like, it's not Company of Heroes. It's not designed to be super action-oriented or anything. So, got a UAZ dead. This is probably going to have stuff in it. I did a little more analysis of the enemy positions. So we do have spots on 2 enemy tanks. I can't tell if that's an inbound or an outbound shell. That could be. It's either an Abrams... Well, so we can tell. Spotting, 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 spotting. Okay, so they didn't fire. They're not reloading either. This Abrams here... Gunner waiting, loader reloading. Okay, so yes, it did just fire. So there is an outbound shell just skimming along the road. It's going to hit one of these T-62s, I hope. It is the advantage of playing as the United States. We have much, much better spotting equipment than the Syrians do. So, yes. If you guys find this interesting, I would recommend checking out the story I posted in this spam thread of the hyperspace forums. I posted my first, essentially not impressions, but my first battles in combat mission Normandy something or other. Combat mission Battle for Normandy, I think it is. As well as the demo for Combat Mission Strike Force. Sniper team is going to hide in that bush. It's probably a little hard to see, but all of the unit markers are actually properly are shown, so I can actually tell where all the units are. Yeah, one thing I was actually really surprised is the reviews for this game are very, very poor. Most reviewers citing just general, just a general dislike of the game, it appears. And I'm not really sure. Although, to be fair, it isn't, you know, the kind of game that is designed for mass consumption. It's not Battlefield, it's not Call of Duty. It's just is what it is. So this striker is in position, it looks like, so we will order these guys. Up. Budging the camera around with WASD is not easy, and it doesn't really work all that well, so, you know. So, we don't have a ton of ammo. I'm just checking ammunition on the various mortars and whatnot. One other thing I like is that the game is really well animated. So for example, I've ordered the spotter team out, so the back door deploys, the relevant units hop out. I mean, yes, they hover a little bit, it's not perfect. Looks like we engaged the T-62, I can't tell. Let's get a better look at this and what is going on here as we engage them at extreme range. They do have reactive armor, so... hit the rear tank. This looks like they took a hit, but no other significant damage. Artillery is hitting around our back base area, but we did appear to move out. Recoilless rifle team in this area. We've spotted him because we can see him. Oh! MGS decided it didn't like him. Just where I saw a third tank spot. Okay, so the first T-62 MV is knocked out. That one's hit, but not totally gone. I just want to back it up a second. Yeah, so we did have a spot on a third T-62. That one gets behind those bushes, it looks like, yes, and disappears, though that one is knocked out. Alright. Advance the next turn. Scoot back over here. Okay, so once the spotting team gets in line, gets where they need to be, can these guys call it? They can. So we're going to call area target here. 400-meter diameter Apache strike. It's going to be heavy, immediate, and confirm. They'll be inbound in a minute. The major downside to one aspect of this game I really wish that they would improve upon, at least for future releases. There have been, I believe, 3 or 4 releases since this one, but none of them have made this improvement. None of the aircraft that you call in as air support actually physically appear in the game world. It's just kind of, you hear like a sound effect, at least based on the most recent, I saw the game that they released about a month ago. It plays a sound effect and then something explodes, basically. You see the bullets, but nothing else. I would love to see aircraft properly modeled in the game. Nothing's really going to change. We're sitting pretty well here. Their artillery is sitting harmlessly behind us. The thing is, at this range, if they do spot us, their tanks would be able to kill our strikers quite easily. That's probably the...
Roger. En route to attack position. attack position and pressing to target.
So that Apache is actually capable of spotting and attacking
Ready to engage.
on its own. So you can kind of hear it there. What I'm actually going to do is order them back in here. Since the Abrams is directing the fire support, we don't need the spotter team out there. And the strikers are going to loop around this way. While one of the Abrams, I'll be kind of make a slow, or not a slow, but a decent paced armor advance. What we really want to do is we want to pace ourselves. If we rush too quickly, then our troops are going to start dying real fast. And that is something that we don't need. In fact, this is actually going a little too quickly. Is this team here? But I actually gave the wrong order. I was ordering the infantry squad. Alright, so that should allow us enough time to start moving up. Oh, I forgot to move the sniper team, but they're in a Humvee. That can make a pretty quick move.
Cleared hot. Egressing from target. All
there was a hit. T-62 here knocked out by the Apache. It was either... It is possible that it was attacking another one of the dead T-62s, though. The Apaches will do that. They sometimes misidentify the targets. Basically, what I'm planning to do is I'm going to keep advancing the armor up the sides, with these armored units moving up the left side, kind of staying in the wide open space and engaging that way. These two will come around this side with the infantry, and we'll make the assault from here, assaulting the main entrance, and then kind of moving through. Nothing really of note happening that turn. Okay, so we lost one of the MGS strikers. I was wondering... That was Platoon HQ as well. It looks like... It's okay, a recoilless rifle hit. And the whole crew is knocked out. What we're going to do is we're going to give the Abrams a target arc, which will order it to focus its attention in that particular direction. The strikers are going to essentially full stop it here. Because this way we know one of two things has happened. We know that either the enemy has been holding their fire against these units, or this is as far as they can hit. One of those two. Alright, let's see, who else needs to move? Sniper team. The other thing is because each of your units has ammunition, you can't just start calling in artillery strikes, you know, at will. Unfortunately, you do have to. Okay, so we've got more spots on. There it looks like. Engaging on enemy units there. This Humvee appears to be stuck. Good job, Humvee. Alright, so we can clear the target. I don't remember who was air control for the Apache. Is it you? It looks like it already made his run. Alright, so we're going to be calling in a mortar strike here, medium duration, and for medium contact with a anti-personnel effect. Essentially that means that we're just going to be calling in a relatively short strike designed to kill infantry. Again, most of the units are going to be staying where they were. They seem to be hiding a good number of bastards in there. I'm going to try and find a way to get that Humvee out. Otherwise that sniper team's going to be walking.
Roger. Fire mission request. Out.
I wasn't sure if that was the artillery or the tank. Okay, so the artillery mission should be going in any minute now. What we are going to do... target arc this for the tanks. Reason being, they're engaging those infantry. We don't want them to engage those infantry because otherwise they're just... okay, and that Humvee got itself free of the nonsense. We don't want them engaging those infantry, specifically because it's a waste of ammunition. They only have about 30 rounds total. About 30 total rounds of ammunition, so it's a little bit difficult for them to really effectively hit those guys as well, unless they were using machine guns. So, again, I mean, I could very easily rush up this force, but they're not a huge force, and most of what we're going to be hitting in the factory complex is going to be infantry. So we're going to want mostly an infantry lead here. The idea is that if this is... yes, this is a trench here, So the general idea is going to be to advance the unit, all of our tanks and units up to this trench, and then dismount our infantry and send them into the complex with fire support from our various tanks and other vehicles there, and then moving them as they can. But having these guys on our flank shooting AT rockets into us isn't going to help us at all, and we might as well try and take them out now while we're at long range and we can engage them from a very long distance. Just looked over at my recording. It is 30 minutes in. If you guys are expecting a short episode, don't. It's going to be a long episode with a lot of... It's going to be a long episode, I can assure you of that. Okay, we got a spot on an... Looks like just the one guy's left. Oh, man, we just we hit the last guy with some shrapnel or something. Alright, so it looks like the fire mission was successful. I'm tempted to say that we're good to go. So, first step is going to be, we're going to be clearing the targets. They'll now be able to freely fire on anyone that they spot. Do a quick advance to this point. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Trying to keep the MGS units back. As you saw here, it didn't take a whole lot for that unit to get entirely knocked out, and we don't really need that happening with a lot of our stuff. So what we're going to do is we're also going to start moving these guys up to where the tanks are. We know that that's a relatively safe position. They aren't being fired upon by anyone in particular. So we can rest assured that it should be relatively safe to move our infantry our infantry carriers up with them. I should also point out, this is one of the game's single missions, so it's not connected to the larger story, although there isn't much of a story to be had. And it's just designed to kind of be a mission to play against against the game. I believe it can be played multiplayer. I believe pretty much everything in this game can be played in some form of multiplayer. They have lots of different options, too. Oh, I should have called in a cancel on that artillery strike. The mortars are spending a lot of ammunition. Okay, we've got a spot on infantry. We have a spot on anti-tank units as well. You can see some long-range fire there. Those are grenade launchers. That's the grenade launcher on one of the strikers, actually. Very effective against infantry. So, who was spotting for the artillery? Or is it over now? Okay, it's over.
Stand by for cast request. Stand by for cast request.
So we're calling in a light and a medium air support request for our Apaches. Hopefully get them down there to take out anything that we missed. I believe, let's see, you aren't busy.
Request fire mission, over.
Alright, so we've got Apaches going here. We have a just a general purpose artillery strike on the first area of the factory complex, and units moving as planned. I'm not sure if that of this AT unit. I'm not sure if that might be its maximum range right there. It might be assigned to only attack at short range. We've just spotted it early. Either way, we're gonna try and move up these MGS units. Hopefully, they don't get a unlucky shot against them. Gonna keep moving up these guys as well. Just trying to get everyone in position for the assault without lagging too far behind. Because if you have to spend 2 or 3 turns waiting for all of your strikers to meet up with the rest of your main force, you're just wasting time there. And especially in large complexes like this, you can find yourself spending a ton of time just fighting door to door and room to room, and that just takes a lot of time. It'll take, 15 minutes to clear a compound. So it looks like that machine gun and grenade launcher fire is actually going pretty accurate, though we haven't actually killed the unit yet, so we'll see how that goes. Oh, that was a good hit there. They got an RPG team there on the roof. He's being engaged as well. And he's been killed, looks like. Yes, their anti-tank unit has been a casualty.
Route to attack position.
Roger. En route to attack position.
Now, the important thing to remember about the artillery barrage we're calling in on here, it is a 3-minute wait for that to come in. So there's going to be essentially 3 turns before that actually arrives.
At attack position. Pressing to target.
Request fire mission out.
Getting more spots as the Apaches are going to be in very soon. So what I'm doing here is I'm telling the grenade launcher units, assuming I find them. Okay, we just have the one. All right, yeah, I remember that now. Telling the grenade launcher unit to cease fire by giving a target arc of only a certain distance. I don't see any reason why there would be enemy that close to us, but if there is, they'll fire. Otherwise, I want them to stop firing on these guys just because, again, it's a waste of ammunition. I only have so much. And unlike games like War Game, there's no resupply of ammunition, so
At
no
attack
backup.
position. Ingress to target.
Ready to engage.
Helicopter coming through.
Roger. Cleared hot. Shot. Over. Ready to engage.
Shot out. Roger.
Yeah, here
Cleared
comes
hot.
the Apache.
Pressing from target. I'm Winchester. Flash. Over. Flash out.
That might have been a 155.
All ordnance released. Shot. Over. Shot out.
Yeah, that's a tank shell. That's a 155 for sure.
Flash out.
Another thing that this artillery strike is going to do for us is it's going to give us, it's going to start clearing out some of these walls, opening up just general area, just a lot of just general stuff for us.
Over. Flash out.
Can't quite remember. I do believe I only ordered them to use one of the 155mm guns as opposed to the 2 that are available in that battery. Because it's not, I'm trying to save ammunition. If I use too much ammunition, it won't be available later for a more intense firefight. This is just kind of trying to soften them up as best I can. It appears we've taken out all, if not most of their whatchamacallits, of their defenders, at least on this first line. So what we're going to do is bring up the infantry. Clear that target arc. It will now be able to engage at will. That. Alright, so that should be good.
Shot. Over.
Shot out.
The only slightly dangerous thing is that this artillery barrage, you saw how far away that round hit. That's pretty rare. Though I'm hoping we don't have any incidents of friendly fire from the artillery.
Out.
Okay, some kind of light. Okay. Oh! Let's take another look at that. This Abrams just took a hit from an RPG inside the complex. Just a wide angle. See, saw them shoot, they spot it, and they fire back. Whether or not that was actually a kill, I won't know for sure. We are definitely taking anti-tank fire from inside the complex, though the Abrams are able to fire on them quite effectively. No, don't back up, stupid. For now, I'm going to keep the 1st Platoon headquarters unit inside their striker, just because moving them out, there's no real reason not to move them out, but losing your HQ unit does result in a drop in morale for any units under their command, and they're also very good at relaying commands and spots to other units, so it's good to keep them alive and secured inside their vehicles if possible. So you can see strikers are deploying their infantry. They're spotting. Is that another Syrian tank? Okay, well, it's knocked out anyways. All of our infantry are taking position in the trench. is this? Abrams calling in the fire support. We're going to order them to stop. Once this turn is over, of course. I lost another MGS. Wish I could tell you what to, but...
Request fire. Over.
Do a mortar strike there.
Check fire. Check fire. Check fire.
Ceasefire on that. And hold the infantry in position here. These guys take a hit? Oh, we lost another striker. Great. So the crew members are down. All right, boys, you're joining the assault team, I guess.
Fire mission. Over.
So we're switching the mission from one set of guns to the other set of guns. It allows us to bring the guns around much quicker. Again, I can't move the infantry up yet. There still will be rounds coming in from the artillery strike and then also from the next one, which will cause... some of the rounds might go wide. They might hit near the fence here, which is where our infantry would go. And I don't want to risk losing a bunch of infantry on something silly, so... Alright, so what we're doing there is we are moving the strikers back. They are quite useful. They do carry ammunition for the troops, as well as several Javelin anti-tank missile launchers. If we end up losing too many tanks, we are going to want to swap some of our infantry with those. So, oh, I forgot to deploy the machine gun teams. Damn it all.
Roger. Check fire. End of mission.
Request fire mission out.
Roger. Shot. Over. Mission request. Out. Shot. Out.
Shot, over. Shot, out. Shot, over.
Shot. Out. Flash. Over.
Alright, so... check the... is there spotting for this?
Check fire. Check fire. Check fire.
They didn't actually fire any rounds. I'm going to cancel that because it doesn't appear that there's anything immediately in there. So we're specifically giving each of the Abrams a target arc on the factory complex, so they'll be aiming there, expecting enemy contact, and we'll see where it goes from there. Hopefully the MG teams should set up in the trench there and also fire on the complex
Roger.
in the
Checking
event
fire. End of mission.
that the enemy
Roger. Fire for effect.
Out.
shows up and starts shooting at us.
Fire for effect.
Still a couple 155mm rounds hitting. I entirely forgot about the sniper team back here.
End of mission. Out.
Okay, there's still an anti-tank team. And a machine gun team over here. Doesn't look like that anti-tank team actually has any anti-tank weapons, but having those guys flanking us is not good. Positive side, there's a... Oh, that's pretty cool. 105mm round headed in their general direction. So we're going to start moving our troops into the compound. Yeah, actually, we want to assault into level 1. Assault level 2. Assault level 3. No, assault over to level 3. This will give us a nice commanding field of view over this remaining trench here, which will allow them to fire at will as necessary. This guy... firing arc like so. Don't want him engaging any more stuff over here. Just having those rounds flying over and past friendly tanks and units, just generally not a good idea for hopefully obvious reasons. We're also going to clear a target on that guy. I was debating whether or not I should move the fire support team up to the compound or not, and I decided that with with enemy units still being in the area, it just wasn't a good idea. Still a lot of guys up here. Okay, somebody's shooting RPGs at that Abrams. Ah, camera spazzing out. Looks like these guys got hit hard by that machine gun. They're medevacing their own units, so we can't actually do anything with them yet. I get the Humvee up there, get the sniper team out. And the infantry are still executing their orders, so we can just move on. They're really trying to hit that Abrams. Luckily we're, I think, at the edge of their range. I think they just used a 120mm anti-tank gun against an infantry unit. Alright, they will seem to be doing a pretty good job at engaging units on their own, so we're going to leave them. MG teams don't seem to have a lot to do, so what we're going to do is have them undeploy the weapon. Move fast to the gates. And they'll be able to set up inside the complex once we get it more secured. Should make the infantry get out of the Humvee after it's done moving, although I could be wrong. Nice suspension on that Humvee. Come on, you're like shooting him in the face. Just die already, man. Oh, they're bogged down. Oh, and then they shot him in the face. Alright, here's our sniper team. They're set up on the roof here for now. Now, let's see. We can secure this corner building here. We can definitely fire on anybody who's in this side of the complex. And then this team will have full view of that side of the complex. Although it does seem quite calm at the moment. Sniper team's moving towards the front of the building so that they can enter this building, get up on the roof, start sniping as they are supposed to. Hopefully I can actually get use out of a sniper team in this game. Spotters should also. MMG teams are going to be more of a long-range support weapon. I'm going to get them set up probably in this corner and this corner, and just have them have very commanding fields of fire out maybe against this bunker and any units that happen to be in the further section of the factory complex. Keep that Abrams firing nowhere near the compound. Again, making sure that our tanks aren't firing anything they're not supposed to. These infantry, seems like it's just one... It's one guy with an RPG, of course. Target light that area. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Wrong building. Have them go up to the roof on that building so that they can attack there. We don't appear to be making any contact in these buildings, so I'm trying to speed up my troops, get them moving a bit faster, and things like that. MMG team can advance to that location there with these spotters. Haven't moved the Abrams up. I just want to make sure that this area is clear, that there's no ambush waiting for me on the other side. To lose an Abrams would be quite bad in this level. I assume that there's going to be some kind of armored counterattack at the end. It would be quite likely based on how this game has acted towards me in the past. Yep, see, that's what I was worried about. Oh shit, I think they hit him with an RPG or something. You do sometimes have that where units will fire from like a roof into the building next door. It's a little weird, I know, but... While it's unlikely we didn't spot any infantry that were in this side, I do just want to keep the Abrams able to respond to that kind of threat if it does exist. Abrams now beginning its slow move into the complex here. Yep, took the RPG hit. Come on, put a 120 millimeter high explosive round in there. So it did take a hit. It looks like it's either its armor defeated it, or... Okay, and they've started calling artillery into the compound. Oh, the engineers are reinforcements. Okay. Did I drive through a minefield? Oh god, please tell me I didn't drive through a minefield. Doesn't appear to be immobilized or anything. Okay, so we have a few Bradleys with engineers. So we know that they're calling artillery. I don't believe it's going to be anything too bad. Famous last words, right? But there's not really anything I can do about it other than to weather it out and hope that it's not terribly accurate. To retreat would mean they could move more infantry in, so we just kind of have to keep pushing. It looks like actually it could be some pretty nasty stuff, maybe 120 millimeter mortars or something like that. Okay, so I think there's probably anti-tank team in that building, or oh wow, all the way out there. Okay, they're returning fire, which is good. Oh, I totally forgot about that tank back there. Oh man, I gotta stop forgetting about my units. The idea here is that because this is a slightly raised hill, we'll be able to fire down, or fire over into anybody over there. They should be able to get spots on them. In the meantime, clear target. Mortar's empty. Wow.
Request fire mission, over.
So these guys are still on their way over. The Bradleys are going to come in handy. They're pretty good at clearing closer, like really close range stuff with the 35mm cannons they have. So having those are going to be very, very valuable, especially once we start trying to clear. I can't point at it because it's computing. Once we start having to go along this area, they'll be very, very useful, and inside that complex itself. I'm not sure if they're going to have units in this building or in that building, though I wouldn't put it past them. Alright, another casualty on Striker. Luckily it was, I think it was just an MG Striker. Yeah, it was. Yeah, just with its with all of its support destroyed, that Abrams is going to be pretty isolated out there. So I'm gonna bring it into the compound. Just reverse it back and then bring it into the compound there. All the other infantry and units are executing their orders. Nothing for me to really do here. Engineers would be useful, but all they're really good for now is breaching, and I don't... Unless I drove through the minefield and just happened to not hit a single mine the entire way, just all three of the Bradleys just explode. Alright, we just encountered... Looks like the bulk of the enemy force.
Shot. Over. Shot. Out. Plant. Over. Plant. Shot. Over.
Oh, did I lose an entire infantry squad at some point and not notice?
Plant. Over. Plant.
Huh. That's it's disconcerting. Apparently, like whole infantry squads are just gone at the moment. I have no idea where they went. MG team is gone. These guys are all casualties. Oh, I can at least get them into that building. All right.
Shot. Over. Shot. Out. Flash. Over. Flash. Out. Shot. Over. Shot. Out. Flash. Over. Flash out. Fire for effect, over. Roger, fire for effect.
Check fire! Check fire! Check fire! Fire mission over.
Alright, spotters are going to call in a pretty significant artillery barrage on the next factory complex. I don't want to mess around with it. I don't have the infantry to go door to door anymore. And I don't have the vehicles to really do anything else. So, we're just going to try and ruin their day some other way. So, yeah. We do have a bunch of engineer squads
Roger,
here.
check fire. End of mission.
Sending the 2 Bradleys out this way, just hoping that they can wrap up anything else that might be out here.
Roger. Fire mission request. Out. Shot. Over. Shot. Out. Shot. Over. Shot. Out.
Majority of my engineers are now ending up being part of the assault squads, really.
Flash. Out. Fire for effect. Roger, over. Fire for effect.
think I'm going to call in Apaches on the factory complex as well. I don't really see... I'll call in one of them. I'll leave one in reserve in case there are tanks or something of that nature. I'll make them... Oh, who wasted a tow? You fool! One neat thing is the game does have deformable terrain, which is nice. Okay, so they are spotting at the moment. Possibly in combat. I'm actually not going to call in those Apaches just yet. The Apache is a great air unit, but if I somehow end up losing all of my tanks or something like that, I'm going to want those Apaches to deal with any enemy armor that might appear at the end of the mission. Again, I've never played the mission. I don't know anything about it other than, you know, it's a mission and what I was told in the briefing, which, as we all saw, was quite wrong. That's not what I want. Oh, the Striker anti-tank teams arrived. Oh boy. If I need Striker anti-tank teams, that might mean... Yeah, there's tank reinforcements. Engaging. Oh, damn it, they're right on the edge of the firing arc I assigned for them. I think, why couldn't he... Yep, Bradley knocked out. Oh, shit. Is that just a...
Stand by for cast request.
See, this is why I'm not a huge fan of going door to door and fighting people in buildings. The Syrians actually have the advantage here simply because A, they're defending, and B, the AK weapons that they generally use are 7.62mm rounds, which at long range drop faster and are less accurate, but that doesn't really matter when you're sticking it in someone's face. So. Somebody shot. Miss, 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 miss. Yes, it missed. Oh, instant kill. I keep forgetting about the anti-tank LAVs I have.
Roger. En route to attack position. End of mission. Out.
So I'm going to try and rush these Striker anti-ATGMs up the left side here and kind of stop them up here, see if they can maybe get long-range fire on those guys there. Coming up on the 2-hour mark. It's a long mission. Could have cleared that. So we know that there's a tank out there.
At attack position, ingressing to target. Ready to engage. Roger, cleared hot.
The other Syrian tank knocked out. We can reposition the Apache next turn and just have it cover a huge area out here.
Ready to engage. Break! Abort!
Stand by for cast request.
Request fire. Over.
Again, just shelling the factory complex into oblivion because I don't feel like fighting door to door again because it didn't go well. Repositioning the other Apache and generally just hoping for some good luck here.
Roger, cleared hot. Egressing from target. All ordnance released.
Come on, spot it, aiming, fire. Knocked out. Excellent. That was a HQ. Very good. Quite pleased with that. And then engaging with the tank gun again. Just for giggles, apparently. Or maybe they were shooting at this bunker. I don't know.
Roger. En route to attack position.
Apaches are back in. I'm just going to leave that Apache out there.
Fire mission out.
Okay, so starting this next turn, we're going to be start moving up some tanks and whatnot, and not really beginning the assault, but kind of beginning bombardment, more or less, of the factory complex. Target. Apologies if I'm not talking more, guys. It's been an hour and 45 minutes, and I just can't blab at everything. It should be pretty obvious. Why are there more infantry in here? Jesus.
Ready to engage.
Fire perfect. Cleared out. Fire perfect.
This guy's just like, nope, fuck you, I'm going. And didn't make it.
Attack position. Pressing the target. Ready to engage.
Oh, and there we go. Total victory. We didn't get all of the all the targets that we wanted. Let's see. Yep. So final statistics: 111 men okay, 27 men killed, 22 wounded, 5 armored vehicles lost. No other statistics. 65 men for the Syrians. 65 men okay, 100 men killed, 54 wounded, 50 missing. I believe that's captured. 10 tanks lost and 7 other vehicles lost. And we won by their surrender. Let's see, what else did they have? It seems like, yeah, they didn't really have much left here. A few full infantry squads and a recoilless rifle. Just a bunch of HQ squads, really. And they did have people in that last building. And they had guys in that building. I had a feeling that they would. Surprised the sniper team wasn't more active. Yeah, so that was a full game of combat mission. this is generally how you win. You don't actually usually end up capturing your objective. You just end up winning generally by surrender during your final push, or just during one of your pushes. This might be because I'm playing on a lower difficulty. I'm still getting used to the game and mechanics. Obviously, I'm still not really into building combat. I should be much better at that, but obviously I'm not. Whether that's because of my units or because of just how I'm commanding them, that remains to be seen. But yeah, so hopefully you guys didn't find this horribly boring or anything. I did want to do this in one just straight go because chopping up in episodes is something I could do, but naming them would be weird, and I have a tendency to just not release things for quite some time. But yeah, so hopefully you guys enjoyed that, and I will see you guys in the next episode of whatever the hell I put up. I don't know. I don't put things up anymore for reasons. But yeah, so thanks for joining me, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.